Oh crap, sorry. I got a bit confused with the word queue. I thought it involved waiting for something. You're listening to Dick Cox, P.I., Episode 7, Arrival Investigator. In my search for Femme Fatale, I'd been directed to a gym where I might find a new source of information. But by this point, I was just sick of her name. Femme Fatale. Every day, every hour, round and round in my head like stained lingerie in a washing machine. If only I knew how to stop the spin cycle and move on to the tumble dryer. I began to think of the things I could have been doing if I wasn't on her trail. Eating ice cream, hanging out in bars, putting it away in bars when people noticed I was hanging out. It was getting late as I neared the gym. I was walking down a dark alley, my usual habitat, when I spotted a young woman walking ahead of me. I slowed down a bit so I wouldn't freak her out. When you think about it, it's actually kinda hard to act like you're not a bad guy. She kept glancing back at me nervously, so I tried to reassure her. I'm not a rapist, I called out. She screamed and ran off. By that time, I was at the gym. I walked in to be greeted with the usual depressing side of people who are already more attractive than you and are currently in the process of becoming even more attractive than you. The guys had more guns than Rambo's wet dreams, and the girls were fitter than cheetahs being chased by Darwin. I looked at the men doing their bicep curls and felt a little bit worse about myself. The only thing I could curl was a turd, and I wasn't even very good at that. I went up to the guy at the desk and asked if he'd heard of my contact. Hey, Jim, have you heard of a guy known as the Taxidermist?
The taxi what?
Dermist. The Taxidermist.
Oh, you mean Tommy. Guy that sells steroids, right?
That's the guy, yeah. You seen him around here?
Well, Tommy used to work on the docks, but the union's been on strike and he's just down on his luck. It's tough, man. So tough. So he's been coming here selling drugs to get by. We used to be good friends, but now it's like we're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. Sorry he's not around today.
I wish he was here.
Yeah, man. So, why are you looking for him?
Well, I'm trying to find the whereabouts of a girl called Femme Fatale.
Oh, well, you'd want to talk to James. He's some sort of private investigator. Very good, I hear. He'll be here soon, I imagine.
A rival P.I. in town? I'd never heard of the guy. Must be good. And he goes to the gym. Damn it. Just then, a guy walked in. I went up and asked him, "And who are you, pal?"
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Then the smarmy git proceeded to introduce himself to every girl in the place, getting cooler every time.
My name's Bond. James Bond. Yes, my name is Bond. James Bond. Oh, by the way, we haven't been properly introduced, Melina. My name is Bond. James Bond. Bond. James Bond.
Bond. James Bond.
My name's Bond. James Bond. Bond. James Bond. Bond. James Bond. Bond. James Bond.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
And I'm Dick Cox. Hi.
You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
I'm not a girl. Anyway, I heard you're on the case of Femme Fatale. I am as well.
I don't suppose you care to share that information with me?
For a price, I might.
You have something I'm interested in buying.
So you'd like to purchase my services?
I admit it's a little kinky.
But if I provide, how can I be sure you'll pay up?
I suppose we all have to pay the piper sometime.
Okay, well, last thing I heard was that she'd been taking a ride with a guy known as the Taxidermist, or Tommy. As soon as I told him that, he dived through a window and disappeared, no payment given. Damn it, I can be such a sucker. I decided I'd blown my last job. It seemed like I'd given that Bond guy the last piece of the puzzle. I ran out into the night again, broke into a car and set off after him. I'd only been going 2 minutes when there was a loud bump and the suspension rocked suddenly. As I got out of the car, pedestrians rushed over. I looked under the wheels.
You killed a child!
Well, it was only a little one. Before I knew it, the pigs were swarming all over the place. Then the police came to chase them away and took me to a cell for the night. I looked through the prison bars as the rain began to fall on Typicalopolis.